Well, it's that time again, everybody. Time to answer some more questions. This time, Mr. G and Vincent aren't going to be answering. It's going to be everyone else. So, let's just get right into this, because I don't feel like we need to really elaborate on much. Our first question comes from Spencer Henry, who only has one question. Will you do the Legend of Cleopatra? Ah, I knew it! I knew she wasn't real! Yes! Yes! I had finally validated! I knew she was just a myth! Ha ha! I'm right! I'm right! Ha ha! Hey, everybody! I'm finally right! Cleopatra's just a myth! Ha ha ha! Our next set of questions comes from Sad Pathetic Taxidermy Otter. How did Pusa meet Dr. Word? Well, one day I was at my job, and the seal came in taking pictures. I told him, "Hey, that's not allowed in here." And he was like, "Oh, yeah?" And then I was like, "Yeah." And then we kind of got into a bit of a fight, but then afterwards we talked things out, and we found out we had similar interests, and that's when we started working together. How does Mitch communicate? What was Mr. G's favorite video game growing up? Well, let's see. Growing up, Garrett was really attached to this game he got as a gift from his great uncle. It was basically like it was basically one of those, oh, what do you call them? Those things that are like RPGs but with an M or something. Yeah, except it was about dinosaurs. That's what he liked to play all the time. What does Zark do in his free time? Well, when I'm not saving the world, I'm usually off hanging out with my girlfriend, or using my powers to explore other planets, or I just do some training. You know, typical superhero stuff. Does anyone here play TF2? You better believe it, I play TF2. I'm like an expert at that game. Watch, I can name every character right here, right now. You got, the guy with the hat. You got, the doctor. You got the big one. You got the guy with the flames. You got the guy uh with the eye patch. You got you got the robber. You got the guy who looks like Bob the Builder, and you got another guy. Yeah. What is Sweetie's favorite ant species? Oh, that's a tricky one. But have you ever heard of yellow crazy ants? Those can spit acid, and they're called crazy. What's not to love? Give Andrew a multiversal communication device. Why would I want Andrew speaking with other dimensions? I'm not even really allowed to do that. So why would the bird get to? What is the mythical creature Vincent has had the most history with? Well, some say that it's Bigfoot. Others, like me, know the truth. But the truth is hard to comprehend sometimes. What does Lamia's advantage of being a great white shark? The real question is, what's the benefit of being a human? The great white shark's body is so much better than the human form. Does anyone here read Webtoon? Ugh, you kids and your webcomics. You know, back in my day, if we wanted to read comics, we had to walk 5 miles to get to a store that didn't even guarantee to have them, because all the rich kids would buy all the good ones, leaving us with nothing but junk. Ugh, you kids and your webcomics make me so sick. We actually had to work for comics back in our day. And finally, what do you think of Drepanosaurus? Ugh, I don't care. There's too many dinosaurs to keep track of. Back in my day, we only had 5 dinosaurs. There was T-Rex, Triceratops, Stegosaurus, Brontosaurus, and pterodactyls. That was all we had to know. Nowadays, there's all these fancy classifications and things like that. It makes me sick. Our next set of questions comes from Newman's Popcorn Eater 4. Why have we never seen Eric's family? Uh, there was a meteor at a family reunion and they all died. Yeah, that is definitely what happened. What is Catherine's favorite Disney movie? Actually, I have my favorites based on eras. My favorite Walt era film is Alice in Wonderland. My favorite Dark Age era film is The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, basic, I know, but there's not really that many good options. My favorite Renaissance film is The Lion King. My favorite 2000s film is Treasure Planet, and my favorite 2010s film is Wreck-It Ralph. It's too early to decide 2020s yet. Oh, and my favorite Pixar movie is Toy Story 3. You know, just in case you wanted to know. What is Zark? I am a Fortistherium from the planet of Chiptos 2. But, I don't like talking about that place, so, that's all I'm gonna say. Who wins the ultimate splashdown? What am I, a psychic? We've only done 2 episodes. What happened to the Flash guy? I have no idea, honestly, because he is definitely fast enough to have saved everyone from that explosion, but I didn't even notice him there. I have no idea where he is or what happened to him. Are there any reptilians left? I hope not. How long was Marion in that store? Way too long, my friend. Why does Sweetie wear bands? I don't know, I just thought they looked nice. Does Catherine like DreamWorks? I can't just always watch Disney movies. Yeah, I like DreamWorks. My favorite films in them include Shrek 2, Puss in Boots 2, The Prince of Egypt, and, probably gonna get laughed a lot by saying this, but, Madagascar. There, I said it. Do you fear the corn god? Don't even make me laugh. I barely even fear the regular gods. Why would I fear a false god like him? Oh, these people can scream and shout all they want. But at the end of the day, they will never. And yes, I was talking about the angry guy with the big knives. You don't scare me. You never have, and never will. Our next set of questions comes from Fish Stash. Which one is Mr. Spider and which one is Mr. Arachnid? I'm Mr. Spider and I'm Mr. Arachnid. Does Zark know about the reptilians? I heard about him a bit while back on my home planet, but they were deemed not a threat because they were getting invaded all the time. Does Marion have strings on him? I don't get it. What is Mitch made of? What hero does Zark miss the most? I'm gonna be honest, even after everything he's done, I still miss Cave Dweller. Does Catherine like Kingdom Hearts? Oh my gosh, yes I do, yes I do, yes I do, yes I do. Okay. Okay, calm down. Yeah, I've played Kingdom Hearts. Although, if I'm being honest, I only play the games that introduce new Disney worlds because I'm fickle like that. Then again, those are really the only games that matter anyway. Yeah, fight me on that. Oh, how I love them so. It's interesting seeing Disney characters in a, well, I wouldn't say more mature, but actually, yeah, it is a bit more mature. Yeah. But yeah, I love every game except, oh, and I'm gonna get killed for saying this, but the second one. Yeah, I said it. What happened to the bees? Well, I found out that apparently the same thing that happened during our Cold War, except a lot faster because of the short lifespan of bees. So, yeah, that's what happened. What's with all the mutant sea life? What are you implying? What's it like having a time machine? It would be fun, but Mr. G has so many rules about it in order to, quote, protect the time stream or something like that. Catherine's least favorite Diosny movie? Well, there's a lot of candidates. There's Chicken Little, of course, which has some of the most unlikable characters in film history and seems to think pop culture references just equal comedy. There's Cars 2, which has one of the most idiotic plots in film history. Good Dinosaur feels like a first draft. Black Cauldron is dull as tar. Frozen 2 literally does everything the direct-to-video sequels did in the 2000s, and yet while those are hated, Frozen 2 has actually as a fandom for whatever reason. What else? Oh, there's Wreck-It Ralph 2, which completely butchered everything that made the first film great. Yeah, there's plenty of candidates. Our next set of questions comes from Laura. Will you do a video on video game characters? Yeah, we could, but we find that movie monsters and mythological monsters are a little easier to talk about. But don't worry, everyone. We'll have 'em eventually. Why do your drawings look like they were made in the late 2000s or early 2010s? Because I like this way. What kind of animal is Goofy? For the 100th millionth time, he's a dog. Oh, and before you bring up Pluto, reminder, there have also been non-anthro ducks and mice in Disney worlds, but no one ever questions if Mickey or Donald are actually what they claim to be. So yeah, Goofy's a dog. Case closed. Prove me wrong. Oh, and before you bring up that Goofy is a cow thing, that was literally from a joke article. Do you like cartoon anatomy? I don't know what that means. Why are there no flamingos in Australia? Well, there used to be, but then the great meteor of '97 happened and wiped all the flamingos off the face of the continent, leaving no trace of their existence. Is it weird if you watch cartoons as a No! Is cereal soup? Yes. And because I said it is, that makes it an objective fact. Is Idaho where your birthplace? I was born in Maryland. Why don't you talk about your personal life? What? Who have you been talking to? Why are you wearing a hat? These hats are our family crest. And our final set of questions comes from Vilmo Spicesack, who I had to cut two of their questions out because I said to keep this PG. What do you think of Jack and Daxter? Oh, I love it. I mean, watch. I can name every character. You got the guy with spiky hair. You got the weasel. You got, I think, I don't know. Wasn't there like a guy with a megaphone or something? I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, I do know. Yeah, there was. Yeah. Great games, great games. I love the part where you, let's see. Yeah, RPG. It's an RPG, so I love all the grinding. Yeah. I hope I got that right. What kind of console did you own as a kid? I grew up with those Game Boy knockoffs you see at Walgreens, the ones that have like 50,000 games on them. But they always are incredibly poorly emulated, and you're not even sure if they're legal. Yeah, that's where I got my gaming start. Do you play any mobile games? No way, man. Mobile games are for sissies. Do you remember Super Mario Logan? Remember, I was in them. What do you think about Fall Guys? Oh, they're one of my favorite bands of all time. I love listening to their autumn themed songs. They always put me in a Halloween spirit. I don't know why their CDs always end up in the dump. They're great stuff. Are there geckos in Europe? Well, I once fought a supervillain themed after geckos in Europe. Does that count? If you were captured by the rabbits, what would you do? I would just snap all their necks and then burn their corpses into a fiery pile of ashes. What did you think about the Grubhub ad? All ads for companies like that are terrible. Back in my day, we had to walk like 100 miles to get anything decent to eat. And even then, you had to pray it wasn't closed because if it was, you had to walk 100 miles more just to get back home without any food to boot. Have you ever watched Teletubbies as a kid? Yes. What are you made of? I am 50% sugar, 25% spice, 24% the dubious concept of everything nice, and I'm also 1% this chemical that is kind of hard to explain, but basically, it gave me superpowers like my brother. So, yeah, that's what I'm made of. Well, that's all for this Q&A session. We hope you enjoyed. Goodbye, everybody.